What is going on YouTube? Welcome to my spoiler review for Batman v Superman. Now, if you have not seen my regular review, I recommend you checking that out because I give no spoilers. I give more details of what the plot of the story is. But of course, in this one, we are going to be talking about spoilers. So if you have not seen the movie, and I recommend, even though you've not seen it and you want to hear a little bit about it, still go see the movie. Now, I've only seen the movie once, so I'm going to try to remember everything as much as possible. I just got home and I want to talk about it, but I'm gonna do separate videos for like certain topics I'm gonna talk today. I need to watch the movie a couple more times to understand it, which I am gonna see it later today, tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday. I'm actually gonna see it 4 times for free. So no further ado, here we go. Yes, Superman's death did happen in this movie. The whole theater cried. Like, I looked at everywhere. Everybody had like tears. And I do love how it's like the death of Superman. I called it in my like video where I was talking about things that you need to pick up. Everybody was giving me crap because I put like, you know, the death of Superman in my like, you know, predictions and things that you should read before you watch it. And they're like, it has nothing to do with Batman v Superman. I'm like, you don't know that for a fact. And we did get to see that. The whole ceremony scene was nice. And yes, of course, he's still alive, you know, with that little tease near the end. See, a lot of people were expecting like an after credit scene. I already knew that it was not going to happen because, you know, Zack Snyder takes a lot of inspiration from Christopher Nolan, and Christopher Nolan believes that great movies don't have after credits. He didn't really say it like that, but basically that's what he was trying to say. But what DC is trying to do, they kind of give you like 3 teases near the end of the movie. They give you something that happens, which was Lex Luthor talking about he's coming. I'll talk about that later. Then we got Batman and Wonder Woman talking about bringing the Justice League together. I'll talk about that later. And then of course Superman with the dirt flying up, knowing that he's alive. Now, does this mean that Doomsday is alive? Probably, most likely. I think they're gonna bring him back maybe down the line because Doomsday really needs to like adapt to different things. So I'm assuming later on they'll bring him back. That's just my opinion, and then he will fully look like the Doomsday we all know. And everybody flipped out when Doomsday was growing to the Doomsday we all know. I was hoping he had hair. I wanted to see hair or like a beard of like spikes. I don't really remember if there was, but he had them on his elbow, his shoulders, his chest, like they were coming out. But I really wanted to see the white hair. I don't know why. I just really wanted to see that, like the Hulk Hogan white hair. I wanted to see that on Doomsday. So I'm expecting Superman comes back to life in Justice League Part 1. While we're gonna be getting like, you know, Suicide Squad that's coming out at the end of this year, and the next year it's Wonder Woman. It gives WB enough time to know what they're gonna do with the story, just because, you know, Suicide Squad takes place after Batman v Superman. It's a whole different story from what Batman v Superman is doing. And then Wonder Woman, it's a prequel. It takes place in World War II, so they have enough time to explain what they're gonna do in Justice League Part 1, which is gonna be directed by Zack Snyder. Rumors saying that George Miller might be producing it, which would be perfect because I really want him to be part of the DC Extended Universe because his visionary is as good as Zack. Yes, I know a lot of people don't like Zack's storytelling, but his visual is amazing. What he shows you, I think he does a great job. That's why they got Chris Terrio, which I thought he told a good story, which a lot of people just don't see it for some reason. I read some reviews already and I'm like, how do people hate this? I don't get it. That's a different topic. But the Trinity fight, let's talk about the Trinity fight near the 3rd act. I thought it was amazing. It mainly showed you that Wonder Woman was the best part of the 3rd act. She was slicing, dicing, you know, all that kind of good stuff, while Superman was the power. Batman was more like play from the outside of like the defense way, where like anytime Doomsday was coming at the Trinity, he would throw something at it, like kind of like slow him down, while Wonder Woman and Superman caught their breath. Now the Doomsday transformation, I did like it because it explained a lot towards like why it looked like the way he did, just because it was from Zod's body. And I really thought they should have done the, you know, containment suit the way he looks right here, and it would just been a big nod towards the comics, but they really didn't do that. It just would have been cool just to see that. And then when we get to this, you know, part of the trailer, that he took it off, that would have been really badass because us comic book fans would really enjoy that, because we know that it's like, you know, that's how Doomsday was first introduced. Now the nightmare scene was a good cherry on the top. I thought it was great because it shows Batman killing people and just taking them out, and I really liked that fight scene more than the one in this scene for some reason. I just like the nightmare scene fight scene just because I feel like he's more brutal. That's just my opinion. That's just my personal taste. And I like it because, guys, it felt like Injustice. He's talking about Lois Lane. I'm pretty sure he's talking about Lois Lane. And in this universe, that Batman didn't save Lois at some point or something, or was it his mother? That's a different theory. I need to talk about that in a separate video. That's going to be like a couple of days after the movie comes out, so people won't be like, oh, you spoiled the movie. I'm like, it's been a week. You had enough time. But to talk about the nightmare scene, it was close to the whole Darkseid apocalypse. I'm pretty sure Apocalypse came to Earth and just took over the world, and the Justice League was never really formed up. Now really, like, they kind of knew each other, because I'm going to talk about the Flash part, because that part made me scream. I think people hated me because I kind of went, oh my god, I was just like freaking, just because it was very unexpected. But I do believe that Darkseid will be the big villain for maybe not part 1, but part 2. Now, the Justice League cameos, I thought they were well placed. Some people thought that they were shoved in. Like, shoving it in, it's like all throwing them at you, like right in front of your face, like, oh, like, this is Flash, this is Aquaman. No, it establishes you when Batman first notices it. Then it goes to Wonder Woman noticing it, and it first introduces like Wonder Woman, with the photos, like Batman saying like, oh, who are you? Like, there's others like us out there. And that's when she's really interested, looking at the files. She jumps right into the Flash one, then she jumps right into the Cyborg one. The Cyborg seemed like a horror film, and it had a mother box. I'm pretty sure that was a mother box for Cyborg. It doesn't give you enough details of where the fucking mother box came from. I really wish they would have put that in the movie, but like I said, this movie needed like at least 30 minutes. That was one of my gripes about the movie. I felt like it just needed more time, which I believe in Ultimate Edition we might get more details on that. But that was a mother box. The mother box is what makes Cyborg. Now, the Aquaman scene was pretty cool. It felt weird just because it was like him underwater. At first I didn't really get it, because I was like, okay, what's going on? Like, is he gonna come attack us? You just see him bolt out of there, or I don't know, like swish out of there in that type of way. But I did like it. It just, I really was expecting more for the Aquaman one, to get the people more excited, saying like, yo, who is that? I'm like, that's Aquaman. But I do think it didn't get like the audience, like the new audience, like excited. Even though in our IMAX people flipped out when they saw Aquaman. But I think the regular audience are probably not gonna know who that is, because Aquaman looks different. I really wish he was like fighting some kind of sea monster. That would have been better. Just him staring at him, getting a zoom in and zoom out. It would have been cool if just him fighting like a giant octopus or a shark or something. I think that would have been better, just us staring at him. That's just what I would have thought. The Flash one, I forgot to mention, is just him in a store. This one, you actually see Ezra Miller like with his long hair. I think he had like a little beard, and it was really cool. Let's talk about Flash. Flash comes in a dream sequence. It's kind of hard to explain, because Batman's having the dream of the nightmare scene. That's what I'm thinking. And then poof, it happens. I flipped out. Basically, what everybody's trying to figure out, what is he saying? I'm gonna go see it the second, third time to make sure to see what he says. But I kind of got what he says. He says, "You were right about him. Save her. She is the key." Now, I thought the end of the movie he was talking about Martha Kent, because in the end of the movie Batman was gonna kill Superman, right? And when he heard Martha's name, it really stopped him. So I feel like that changed the past. So when Flash was saying like, save her, it could have been his mother, it could have been Wonder Woman, it could have been anybody else. And he said, you were right about him. Could it mean about Superman? Was it Lex? That's the thing that it kind of got me wondering. Like, I need to figure out what Flash was doing. And of course, it was the Flash from the future. His armor was not the one we see like in this photo. It was nothing like that. It was more like an Elseworld / Injustice type in a way, and I loved it. He was being funny with it. He's like, am I too early? He's like, yeah, I think I am too early. See you now, something. But it was really hard because the fans were going crazy. And I understand why people do that, because they're just so excited, because it's something you've never seen before. And I'm going to go back again to make sure what he says. But if you guys know what he said exactly, make sure to leave a comment down below to inform other people. And what are your thoughts? Who do you think he's talking about? She is the one. You need to save her. She's the key. You were right about him. I thought he was talking about Martha Kent, that he needed to save her. If not, Superman was going to go rogue, because at one point Superman like and Lex Luthor have a conversation, and you see like Superman about to snap, and it does play in the nightmare scene, because the nightmare scene, remember, Superman goes, she was my only thing, and like, you know, you took that from her or whatever. So I'm assuming that's why Flash came back and said you need to save her. And it's confusing because it could play out to everything. That's why a lot of people that are going to be brand new to this DC Extended Universe, they're not going to get that. And I do wish they would spend more time on that. There's one part of the movie where I felt like it was really kind of like, why do we care about that? It was kind of like the Lois Lane bullet. I understand they wanted to establish her, giving more screen time, but you really could have done more explaining the Justice League members. Some people felt like this was gonna be more like 80%, you know, trying to shoehorn all these other things. I don't know, like 10%, 20%, whatever you want to call it, was just like the story, which I could see that. But as a DC fan, I really don't mind that, because I know what's gonna happen in the next movie, which is the, you know, the Justice League. That's where Batman v Superman takes place after. Now, Batman does kill. I don't know why some people don't like that, because I knew for a fact that Batman was gonna kill somebody in this movie. I thought it was gonna be Doomsday. I thought it was gonna be somebody else, but no, he kills thugs when he's in the Batmobile. When he kills one of those henchmen, I thought it was Firefly, just because he had a flamethrower, and Firefly was in the prequel comics. Not sure if it was Firefly. You guys can go ahead and correct me. I don't think it was. And people are not gonna like that because they're not used to it. I don't get it. Keaton killed. He killed the Joker, and he killed like a clown. He killed a lot of people. Michael Keaton as Batman killed a lot of people. Christian Bale, he let like Ra's al Ghul die. He killed other people as well. So it's nothing new to me where Batman kills, and that's where people just didn't like. People need to understand that it's taking a place in a different world. It's not your comic book. It's not your anime movie. It's not your, like, you know, cartoons that you grew up with. This is taking place in the real world. Sure, they should have explained it more why Batman does kill with the whole Jason Todd Robin thing. I'm not even sure it was Jason Todd, because they really didn't explain that. I think they're going to explain it more in the Ultimate Edition. But they should have explained it better why Batman is killing. He should have had this moment where he was like, I'm done, Alfred. You know, how many people are left? I let a psycho clown kill hundreds of people, and you know, if I just would have killed him, this would have never happened. This happens in The Dark Knight Returns, where Batman, you know, throws a batarang at, you know, Joker, and he's like, are you crazy? He's like, I'm done playing with you. And that's why I like this Batman, because it's taking from The Dark Knight Returns, where this Batman is just, he's just sick of it. He's tired of playing freaking games with you. He's either gonna kill you or paralyze you. And I feel like that's what he was trying to do with the Joker in The Dark Knight Returns, where he just snaps his neck and just makes him paralyzed, but Joker killed himself. And that's why I understand why they did with this Batman, because it takes place in a real world where we have monsters like the Joker, Killer Croc, and all these other characters who just kill innocent people. Ask yourself this: if you were Batman, would you let Martha Kent die? No, I wouldn't, right? Because I know if I let this guy kill Martha Kent, Superman is gonna go rogue. So I think that Batman did the smart thing, because if you ever read like the Injustice comic book, I think it's like season 4 or whatever, they switch it up from Batman actually killing the Joker other than Superman killing the Joker. It's like a switcheroo, like a different like what if scenario, and Batman spends time in jail, but everybody is safe. Lois has the kid, Superman's happy, Superman's protecting the world, and Batman just serves a couple years in prison when he's old, and he gets out, and he actually becomes the grandfather of Superman's kid, and it worked out fine. Everybody was having a happy ever ending, because Batman knew if he didn't save Lois in the Injustice comic book, that, you know, we would have had you know, the injustice that we all know. So I see the similarities of why Zack Snyder did it, because, you know, if he didn't save her, Superman will go rogue. Now, the Wonder Woman, we got a tease of the Wonder Woman movie in a way. We got a lot of like hints of like just what can we expect from her. Batman knows that she's old as hell. We got that like that photo like that like I talk about, and it got everybody excited, and everybody wants to see what Wonder Woman is going to be doing in the next movie. And I'm excited too, because we really don't know who the villain is. You know, we have Chris Pine playing Steve Trevor. They're working on the movie right now. Well, Gal Gadot's taking the time to like to do interviews and all that other stuff for Batman v Superman. But it did get me excited for Wonder Woman, because I want to know what happens. And the short amount of time that Wonder Woman did have, it was amazing. And a lot of people complained about that, like, you know, she only has like 12 like lines. I'm like, she's supposed to be a cameo. But, you know, of course, like, we live in a different time where it's out of the bag. Like, you know, you might as well just tell everybody that Wonder Woman's in the movie. But the time that she did get, she shined a lot. So imagine what she's gonna be in her own movie. And near the end of the movie, Lex Luthor knows something. But like I said before earlier, that DC is doing their own thing where they kind of give you like 2 to 3 cliffhangers in a way. And Batman visits Lex Luthor at the cell. Like, he really wanted to kill Lex Luthor, and I thought he was about to brand him, and I was like, yes, do it. But he didn't, because he's trying to be different. He's trying to change. I think that's what he's trying to do. But Lex knows something, and I know how he knows this. Remember when he's in the ship, and then the Kryptonian AI, whatever, is asking, like, you know, if you want to know over 1,400 like different things about the Earth's planets, you know, just different things, and Lex says, yes, teach me. That's how I know that Lex Luthor knows Darkseid is coming, because of the mother box. I think the mother box is what triggers Darkseid to come, because the mother box could have been like hidden from 1,000 years ago. Like, it landed on Earth like a long time ago, and then Victor Stone's father, you know, Silas, he found it, and he just had it like there around his son, and then it triggered bringing his son to life. And that's why I think it's gonna play in Justice League Part 1. Maybe it could be like, you know, Darkseid's son, her, like his daughter. Who knows what can happen. I think they're gonna really do like Throne of Atlantis Part 1 for Justice League. That's what I think. But that's what Lex Luthor knows, because he's saying like ding ding, you know, because like he's coming, like he knows a certain villain's coming. It could be Darkseid, it could be anybody else, but that's what I thought when, you know, Lex Luthor was just like freaking out, twitching, like somebody is coming. Now the Justice League team up is one of the other like cliffhangers they left, where Wonder Woman and Batman are talking. Batman's like, we really need to put this team together. So it looks like Batman is the one that's in charge of the Justice League, which is good, because I like Batman doing the charging more than Superman, because I feel like sometimes Superman doesn't really give good orders, because Batman's the more strategic one. So it makes sense of Batman. But Wonder Woman's like, why? You know, why should we do this? Because Batman, like I said, he knows something from that nightmare scene he has. He just has a hunch, and then after he says that, he goes visits Lex Luthor. So the team up is gonna happen. It would have been cool if they split up Batman and Wonder Woman, where like Batman meets like the Flash and Wonder Woman meets Aquaman. It would just been really cool if they did that, but they didn't really do that in the Justice League way, because people are already complaining that it's already crammed in, like forcing the Justice League cameos, which it really isn't. I felt like it was well put together in my opinion, but of course, call me DC fan all you want, but that's just how I saw it. Now, could Darkseid be the main villain for the next movie? I think probably, but I think they're going to save him for Justice League Part 2, because Darkseid is the biggest Justice League villain. He's the #1. Everybody else doesn't really compare to him, unless Brainiac, but I don't know if they're going to do it just like that right now. I don't know who else they can probably get. Maybe they can get the Anti-Monitor. Anti-Monitor is as big as Darkseid, but that would have to explain the whole Infinite Crisis. I don't think DC is ready for that. I think that's going to be part for like Justice League Part 3 down the line of the movies. But anyways, guys, thank you again for watching. What was your most favorite moment in the movie? To me, it was the Flash cameo and then the Superman death scene. Those were the two things that really hit me hard in this movie, because I was just in shock. I was in tears. I was excited just to be part of this, seeing an early screening, and I'm going to see this movie at least 7 to 8 times. I saw Man of Steel 5 times. So imagine what I'm going to do for Batman v Superman. Thank you again, everybody, for watching. My name is JaeRoar, and I am the best at what I do, and that's giving you that 1-2 punch.